Everyone, I'd just like you to start off by lying on your back on your mat. And we're going to start off nice and gentle, with our arms down, flat onto the ground, just gently rolling your knees from side to side. And all we're trying to do with this one is just get a little bit of rotation in that lower back area. So I don't want you to feel any pain or pinching, just a gentle rotation of the pelvis. And then coming back to the center, we're going to do some tilts of our pelvis here. So roll your pelvis up and back. And you can just gently lift your bottom off the ground when you do this one if you like as well. So rocking forwards and back. And a really important part of some of these slow exercises is it gives us a good chance to just focus in on our breathing as well. So as you're doing these ones, or those gentle rolls from side to side, I want you to make sure that you're breathing nice and slowly through your nose. And see if you can feel that breath go all the way down using your diaphragm, right down towards your belly. And you might even feel a bit of a rise and fall of the belly button as you do these deep breaths. So coming back to the center. This time we're going to keep one knee bent, straighten one leg out, and lift up just until we feel a little bit of a stretch and back down. And this is a leg exercise by nature, but if you're doing it correctly, we want to make sure we're still using our core muscles and making sure that we're not arching our back or squashing our back down into the mat. So again, let's breathe slowly through our nose, and breathe in and breathe out. And what you might feel is if you go too far up, you'll be forced to squash your back down, or if you straighten out too much, you might be tempted to lift your chest up. So we want to just stay in that middle neutral zone, nice and slow. We're going to change to our other leg now. Remember, keeping our back nice and neutral, keeping our lower back muscles relaxed, and breathing slowly. Okay, last one on this side, and pop your feet both back down. This time we're just going to do a quick little stretch up too, so we're going to hold one knee up towards our chest, pull that up, but aiming to feel a bit of a stretch in that glute area or on the inner thigh, and you can pull slightly across your body if you want to increase that stretch. So just hold here. Going to hold for 3 breaths. And then change to the other side. Pull up and across your body. And then resting both feet down again. Let's continue to work on those basic core exercises. So make sure you've got that nice neutral lower back through here. We're not arching or flattening. And our muscles should be nice and relaxed and soft in that lower back. I want you to maintain that soft muscles and neutral lower back as we let one knee drop to the side and then back to the middle. And then the other side away from the camera. And then this side dropping down and up. Maintaining a nice neutral posture. So what I mean by that is this whole section of our body from our pelvis up to our shoulders is staying nice and neutral and relaxed. We're not moving that part of our body at all. All that we're letting shift and drop here is our leg and hip joint opening up. So again, breathe out as you drop down, breathe in as you come back up. We're going to try and do about 5 on each side from now. Okay, last one on either side now. And then we're going to start to work up through our glute muscles. So we'll just do a bridge, which is pushing our hips up into the air and our pelvis, lifting up so that we're in a nice straight line like so, and then back down slowly. So there's no need to go too high with this one. We don't want to feel like we're putting any extra pressure on our upper back or neck. What we're trying to achieve with this is use our muscles on the back of our body, in the back of our legs in particular, and into our glute muscles to push up. So pressing through the heels more than the rest of the feet. And if you're feeling any pressure on your knees or anything, try using those glute muscles, so squeezing your bottom together the whole time. And you could even try bending your knees a bit more so they're closer into your body. Or just try going a little bit lower if you're feeling like you're getting a knee pain or pull at the top of the lift. Again, we're going to try and do 6 more. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then resting down. Now we're going to lift both of our legs up into the air, into this position. And what we want to see is a nice 90-degree angle here and a 90-degree angle up at our knee joint as well. So we call this position tabletop if you haven't done Pilates before, because we could imagine that you'd rest a nice flat table on top of the shins up there. So I just want you to hold this position and try and breathe through your nose for 3 breaths. And then we're going to stay with our legs up here, and we're going to do that same exercise we did at the start, which is letting one knee drop out to the side towards the camera and back up, and then the other way away from the camera and back up, and continue that movement cycle. Like I was saying before though, our torso, so from our pelvis up to our shoulders, all staying nice and neutral, and our muscles in our lower back should be nice and soft and relaxed. We're going to be using the core muscles here. So draw in that belly button, turn on your pelvic floor, or whatever cue works for you. If at any point you do start to feel some tightening in any of those areas in your lower back or anything, then just have a rest here. Okay, we're going to go 2 more. And then rest our legs back down. We're going to do some more bridging, but work up the intensity of it here. So lift up to the top and back down. This is the one we were doing before. If you found that quite easy, when you're at the top there, I want you to hold in a nice straight line, then lift one leg off the ground, pop it back down, lift the other leg off the ground, pop it back down, and then lower your body back. And there's a few things to keep in mind when we're doing this one. As you lift your leg off the ground, this part of our body, we want to stay nice and stable. So if you lift up your leg and you tip over like that, then we're not doing it quite right. We might need to be thinking about our pelvis or stability a bit more. You might find that too hard to do, and if that's the case, just do the 2-leg one that we did earlier on. All right, keep going for 4 more. That's 2. And last one now, everybody. And then resting down. We're going to go straight back up into tabletop here. 90-degree angles in both those spots. Posture nice and relaxed. This time we're going to straighten one knee and back. Straighten the other knee and back. There's no need to extend all the way up to the ground. It's more of just a straighten up on a 45-degree angle. Make it a little bit easier on the lower back in that position. Okay, everyone doing your last one of these, then keep your legs up in the air. I want you to add your arms into this too. So hold both arms up towards the ceiling. This time, as you straighten one leg, I want you to reach your other arm opposite overhead. So you're going like this. So it's when your right leg extends, your left arm goes overhead, and vice versa on the other side. Coming back to some of those principles from the start of the class, make sure you're still breathing and make sure that you're not arching or flattening your lower back. You're trying to keep that nice neutral posture. Okay, one more on either side. And resting down there. And this time, just have a little moment to breathe and rock your knees from side to side again. And in a moment, we're going to turn onto our side and do some hip exercises. But if you've got anything else you want to do for the next 5 or so seconds, just do that to loosen your body out. Your body might feel like curling up into a ball for a moment. You might prefer just to straighten out and have a deep breath. You could even just let your knees drop out to the side and stretch out some of those other muscles. But in a few moments, we'll turn onto our side. Okay, so let's do that now. So lying on your side facing towards the screen. If you've got a pillow, you could pop that under there. If you're comfortable lying like this, you can do that. If you're more comfortable just having your head down, I find this is generally the one that works best for me. And what I'd like you to do is lie with your knees bent, and your knees bent at about 90 degrees, and your back remaining nice and straight like it was before when we were lying on our back. And we've got a few exercises here working on the muscles around the side of our hip, and these are our hip rotator muscles. They're important for balance and stability of our hip joint. So what we're going to do is just rest our hand down. We're going to lift our top knee off of our bottom knee, keeping our heels together. And there's a few things to keep in mind here, and I'll talk about them as we go, but you can get started with the movement. Now, as we lift up, the temptation is for our body to roll onto our back and open up. We want to make sure we're not doing that. Having your hand on the ground here can help to keep that nice and stable. You could also pop that up on top of your hip here. And if you feel the temptation to roll back, you'll feel your elbow tipping back. So either of those, or if you don't need to do either, that's fine. Just make sure that you're keeping your body rolled forwards. We've done about 6 of these now. Our goal is to get to 10. So that's 8, 9, and 10. We're going to stay on this same side and do some different exercises in the same muscle group. This time you're going to lift your foot and your knee up for 10 as well. So that's 1, 2, good. So we're really trying to feel the burn around this muscle group here, where our pocket would be on our shorts if we had a pocket. Okay, and one more. And then our last one in this position, we're going to straighten that top leg out, and then we're going to lift up towards the roof and back down. So keep your body in one straight line. So your leg should be an extension of the rest of your body, not reaching forward or back. That's 3, 4. Last one now, everybody. Resting our knees back together. Hopefully you're feeling the burn in that area. I definitely am. And now we're going to put both arms out in front. We're going to do a stretch for our thoracic spine. So this one, we rotate and reach over, keeping our knees together. So we call this one opening the book. So you're opening the book pages up and around, and then back together. And you can do whatever's comfortable for your head and neck. You could turn your head to follow your hand, or you could just keep your head facing forward. Okay, last one. And then turning over to the other side. I'll go this way so I can still see the screen. All right, so remember, same things again, knees bent, body rolled forward, head and neck in a comfortable position. 10 of these, which we call clams. That's 2, so feet stay together, knee lifting up, body rolled forward. And like all of these Pilates exercises, we want it to be a slow, controlled movement. And we especially want it to be slow on the way up and the way down. Some of these are quite easy to lift up quickly and then let your knee drop down, but we want it to be controlled on the way down too. So we've got 3 more on this side. And then our second exercise, knee and foot lifting up together. Everyone, last one now. And then the third one, straightening the leg out in line with the rest of the body, lifting up and down. Slow and controlled the whole time here. Okay, 2 more. It's 9, 10. All right. You might feel one side a bit stronger or weaker than the other, but hopefully you've felt that in that muscle group, both sides. Hands out in front together, opening the book, rotate over, back. Everyone just do one more of these. And then you're going to turn all the way onto your tummy, just having a little rest in this position. A lot of the time in Pilates, we like to do different positions through the class, and especially if we've spent a bit of time curled up into a ball or in the fetal position, it's really nice to then lie on our tummy and extend up this way, and you might feel a little bit of a stretch in your lower back, and that's what we're trying to achieve here. So we're just going to hold here and breathe through our nose for about 3 breaths again. Okay, last breath there, and then we're going to stay in the same position, but we're going to do an exercise that works our posture muscles in the middle of our back. So I'm going to face towards the camera so you can see what I'm doing here, but I've got my legs straight, got my arms out 45 degrees, so 90-degree angles at the elbows just out evenly each way, and then we're going to rest my head down in a moment. When I do though, I'm then going to lift both my hands up and hover, and back down. So you're just lifting your elbow and hand 5 or 10 centimeters off the ground, hovering, and then back down. But we're going to do that with our head down like this. And we're going to try and do 10 of those all together, okay? So starting now, head down, both hands up and down. That's 1. That's 3, and you can keep your head down the whole time. Okay, we're halfway through now. Keep going with your head down. One thing to think about with this is making sure that we don't lift our shoulders up towards our ears. So we should feel this working the muscles in the middle of our back, not the ones on the base of our neck. Everyone doing 2 more. And then pushing yourself back up onto your elbows how you were before. And then work yourself all the way up into an all fours position. And what we want to see here is that our hands are directly beneath our shoulders, so they're straight up and down here. Similarly, our knees are directly below our hips. And then our back should be nice and straight and flat. We don't want to see lifting up like this or arching too much. So nice and neutral in the center there. And what we're going to try and do now is lift one hand up off the ground and down, and then the other hand up and down, maintaining that nice neutral spine position. We're just going to do 2 more of these on each side. Okay, now we're going to add to that, we're going to lift our leg up as well on the opposite side of our body. So we're going to go right arm and then left leg and back down, and then left arm and right leg. Now, if that feels too difficult for you, you could try just doing the leg option on each side, but see how you go doing 1 of each. I'm going to try and do 10 altogether from now. That's 1. Remember to maintain that nice neutral spine position. Okay, last one now. And then sit back onto your heels and just have a rest here. We're going to do a couple of stretches now just to cool down. The first one's a child's pose stretch with our arms out in front. So sit back onto your heels, Reach both arms out as much as you can and feel the stretch along the back of the shoulders or on the back or on the hips. It's a nice whole body one. I'm going to stay here for a few breaths. Each time you breathe out, try and walk your fingers a little bit further forward. Okay, come back up a little bit. We're going to do the same stretch, but push both your arms over to the left side of your body and really focus the stretch on the right-hand side of your body. Lower down again. And then on the other side. And come back up to straight, and we'll line our back for 2 more stretches. Onto the back again. This time we're going to straighten one leg out and then lift it up. Hold behind the knee and hug that towards your body, stretching the whole back of the leg. And then same thing on the other side. If you're not feeling much of a stretch, you can straighten your other leg out too. Okay, back down. And then our last stretch, we're going to cross our foot over onto our other knee and then let the foot up leg, knee drop out to the side. And then if you've got more of a stretch, hold that whole thing up to your chest. We're trying to stretch the outside of our hip and our glute here. Okay, other side now. And then resting down again. And coming up into a sitting position, we're just going to do another stretch sitting where we reach over and stretch the side of our body. And then to the other side. And one more on either side. And then back to the middle. And then we're going to start to finish up there. We'll just sit in this stretch for the last bit of the class. But hopefully everyone's gotten something out of that. We've just started with a lot of basic type exercises there and a lot of things that we can build on. But hopefully all of those instructions made sense and you still felt like you got a bit of a workout through the core areas in the upper and middle back, and then around the side of your hips in particular with those ones where you're lying on your side. And then a bit of a stretch out for the middle of the day. So hopefully that's been good for everybody. I'll keep the computer on for the next 5 or so minutes. If you have any other questions, you can send them through now. But I'm just going to stop the recording here. So thanks for tuning in today, everybody. I'll hopefully see you next week.